Hello, welcome back to the channel. It's been ages. Thought I'd just do a bit of an update on some things that have come in. There's been loads, absolutely loads. Also quite a lot gone out. Got rid of all my Rolling Stones albums. I listened to them really. I kept the four main ones. So Let It Bleed, Beggars Banquet, Sticky Fingers, Exile. I think I've got, is it Hot Rocks? The compilation, and I didn't feel I needed to. I'm getting to a point now where I don't feel I need to keep everything as much as I used to. So I'm trying to make space as much as anything. But I've bought a few things. So I thought I'd share a few things of what I've got. Slightly cooler. I'm in the kitchen today. It's a bit cooler. It's absolutely red hot outside. So I'll kick off with a book actually that I picked up. Still in a Dream by Simon Reynolds, which is basically about shoegaze. It says Shoegaze Slackers and the Reinvention of Rock, 1984 to 1994. This is right, my wheelhouse. This, obviously, you've got I Believe Valentine, Spaceman 3, The Cocteaus, Slowdive, but then it kicks into other areas like Pavement and their Dinosaur Jr. I think there's a lot of things that sort of crossed over in that genre. I think that whole period was vital for me growing up, certainly musically, and they're still clearly very relevant because any of those bands played. Well, I mean, imagine if Spaceman 3 played. Who knows? Watch this space, perhaps, but I'm convinced it's going to happen. I saw someone last week, and maybe not. But these bands were just key for me. So I got the Rough Trade version, which is signed by the author, and it came with like a little fanzine. It's an independent retailer exclusive bonus fanzine, and basically the author's gone through a load of maybe lesser known albums that sort of flit in and out of the genre, should we say. Arthur Russell, 10,000 Maniacs, This Mortal Coil, Telescopes, Terminal Cheesecake, The Sundays, all sorts. And it gives a little bit of review on each of the albums, and it's a nice little accompanying piece. So that was a bit of reading matter. This I got, it's not on vinyl, it's on CD, but it's the Beatles in mono. And I was really pleased to get, I got it from King B Records in Chorlton, and it was a decent deal. And all the albums are all in these like sleeves here. It's got a lovely booklet with it. All in mono, obviously, that's why it's called in mono. The Mono Masters. Disc 1, Disc 2 as well. So I remember looking at it going, it's missing some albums, and then I realised that they weren't done in mono, hence why they're not now. But it's a great collection, and they do sound great. Obviously it's the Beatles, so it holds its value online, and they also had the vinyl version of that, which I don't need to have them in mono that much, to be fair. The last bit of CD action, although there's been a lot of CDs purchased in various things. Porcupine Tree is another band that I gone down a mini rabbit hole, so I picked up a few bits on CD initially just to see what I think. But varied, but some really good stuff on there. I've had this before. I'm in and out with jazz, but this is not really jazz, it's jazz fusion really. And obviously everyone knows Bitches Brew by Miles Davis. It's 4 CDs, got outtakes, it's got all sorts of stuff on there. It's got the full gamut on there. The making of it, it's really informative. The booklet, it's worth it for the booklet itself. I didn't spend a huge amount of money on that either, so I'm really quite pleased with that. So, onto the records. Now, I've never ever really paid any attention or any liking for David Bowie, however you want to pronounce it. The Thin White Duke. Obviously, I know a lot of his songs, and who doesn't love Labyrinth? What a great film. But I've never bothered. And then I I figured I should. So I streamed a few bits and pieces just to have a listen, really. And I streamed Aladdin Sane. I really quite enjoyed it. And most of his stuff is fairly easy to get hold of if you're just looking for a copy. I'm not sure which version is the version I got of this one, but it didn't cost me huge amounts of money at all. I'll put it in my own sleeve there. Got the inner with it. Just a nice copy. Plays really well. So that was my first dip. Obviously low. Again, a relatively early copy. It's a reissue, but it's not an original pressing. Diamond Dogs. And I really like this. Scary Monsters. This is really good. Is it Ashes to Ashes on this one? I think it is, isn't it? Let's have a look. Yes, it is. Fashion, which is cool. And the song Scary Monsters I like. So I've listened to this as well, and I think there's a lot to him that I didn't really get. So I'm having a bit of a deep dive there. I'm quite enjoying it, because it's relatively cost effective. I'm thinking I'll just crack on with that. So that's my Bowie stuff. Right. There's been some movement on the Vertigo Swirl. As always is, isn't there? I've got a nice copy of this, which is Acquiring the Taste by Gentle Giant, which I think I got. Oh yeah, there was the Northwest Audio show, which is every year at Cranage Hall in Cheshire, and it's just a huge amount of the manufacturers basically showing off their wares. So you would go into like demo. It's like it's a hotel taken over with demo rooms of various types of models of sound equipment, anything you could think of, all unbelievably expensive. And I was talking to somebody who went to the same thing, and I'm like, I'm not sure my ears now are good enough to be able to tell the difference when I might pay 1,500 quid for my turntable. I don't know, something like that. Say the whole kit of mine's worth 2.5, 3 grand or something like that. Don't think the wife's watching this. Then you're looking at some that it's 30, 35 grand, 50 grand, 60, and I'm thinking, can you hear the difference? Does it? I'm not sure. I didn't have a couple of rooms, but I mean, it's kind of lost on me really, because it just sounds really good. But there's a record fair there, so all was not lost. And I picked this up, and it was a really good deal. I think he did it for about 130 quid, which I thought it's a really nice copy. Obviously it's original, so that was a real bonus. Picked this up online, again didn't go overboard on cost. There's John Dummer's Oobly Doobly Band, probably the worst name for a band ever. It's kind of like sort of bluesy rock. I thought it was quite a nice listen, to be fair. I didn't think it'd be as good as it was. It's by no means amazing, but it's pretty good. Again, it's a nice copy. I tend to put it in, it comes with the inner, but I always put it in my own little sleeve as well, which I'm finding with the older stuff is a real winner. So I got that. I have posted on Instagram this one, but this was a real bonus. I got it about 6 weeks ago, I think. Affinity, I mean, what an album. Paid a bit more for this one, but again, still under what I would class as the going rate. If there is such a thing, I suppose. It's a really, really nice clean copy. Super happy with that. Plays great. Linda Hoyle, who's a singer on this, her album on the same label goes for ridiculous money. We can but hope. Also, not too expensive, this one, quite easy to find. This was the Vertigo Annual 1970, and they just got loads of tracks by various artists. So he's on here. I've got my glasses on. Colosseum, Rod Stewart's on there. May Blitz, Juicy Lucy, Fairfield Parlour, Manfred Mann Chapter 3, usual kind of crew. Again, nice clean copy, plays really well, so just happy with that. There was one more in the Vertigo Swirl, which I'm just going to dig out for you. Now, here we are. And I can't remember where I got this from. I think I got it online. I got it online. Again, so this is Gentle Giant. Free Friends. So if you don't know Gentle Giant, it's prog, really. Good prog. I haven't put a new sleeve in this one. I think they did. I think it came with a swirl in it. There you go. I'll put it in my own sleeve in a bit. Nice. A nice copy though. I just think if you sit tight, you can get some really nice clean pressings of these. You don't need to pay ridiculous money, but you just need to be patient, keep your eyes peeled. So I've sort of told myself, just really ease off now. I've sort of, how many have I got? About 33, 34. So I'm like a third of the way through. There's no rush. A bit more recent stuff. OCs, another live record. Not listened to it yet. It'll be a big colossal sound, 2 drummers. I think what they said was they played a load of like new jams and then a few favourites at the end, but I haven't even got to grips with it yet, so I can't say anything about that yet. I'll come to it in due course. I had a Sharon Van Etten album I'm missing, which is Tramp. She's great. One of my new favourite artists, really. I think she's not new, but she's sort of someone I've sort of got into much more recently, having seen her once before. That was a relatively cheap find. That was from the Vinyl Whistle in Headingley in Leeds. I just popped out at lunchtime when I was watching the cricket, and they had a bit of a deal on, and I think that was only about 15 quid, 10 quid. It wasn't much, so that's a bonus. Now this one is interesting. So I went to a record fair in London. A friend of mine called Dom, he's had a few record labels over the years, but his current one, which is sort of grinding to a halt imminently, I think when he reaches his 100th release, so it'll be sometime this year, he puts on record fairs as well. And I said I'd always try and come down and support and just, it's a record fair, so what's not to like, should be alright. Trip to London on the train these days, nice and easy. Anyway, in the summer with no kids football on a Saturday morning, I thought I'll book a train down. So got the train down. Had a little bit of breakfast near the venue. It was over 2 venues. Was it Islington? Where was I? Was it kind of Islington way? Something like that. Yeah, it was literally just a few stops from Euston. And there was, when I got there, Barry, the Vertigo Swirl chap, was there, so I had a good chat with him. Nice fella. Sort of furnishing me with tales from back in the day. That was alright. The Vinyl Hunters were there, selling, not buying this time. Well, he was buying, but selling mainly. And it was cool. But then the weirdest thing was, I was down there, I turned around and I spotted someone, a guy called Paul, who I know. Now I'm in Cheshire here, so quite some way from London, and our local pub venue, it's called the Salty Dog. Above that is sort of the headquarters of the record label my band and many other bands are on, and there's also a record shop within there called the Doghouse, and then above that is where we rehearse, so it's all very sort of in one sort of venue. And I turn around, there's Paul. Now Paul owns the Doghouse, and there he was, and it turned out he had a stall there, so quite bizarre. What was even more bizarre is then, I think England were playing, I'm going to say it was Panama, it was on a Saturday in the World Cup, and I was fairly free in the evening, so once I got the train back, I decided to get an Uber back into North, which I thought, I'll go to the Salty Dog, have a quick pint. They were doing pizzas before the football, and then I'll go home. And I get back, and having seen him during the day and had a good chat with him, there he was outside the pub. So he'd hot-footed it up and stopped for a pint before he went home. So it was all quite bizarre. Anyway, I bought this off him. So it's My Bloody Valentine. It's Ecstasy, original. Really nice copy. We did a little bit of bartering. I put it in its own sleeve there. It's a really nice copy. I don't think there's an inner with it. course, nothing came with one. I've got XC and Y, which is a compilation, but this was just before Isn't Anything, when things got that little bit noisy. So there's still an element of the jingly jangly kind of shoegazy-ish, jingly jangly sort of C86 sound a little bit there before he started to find things that his effects pedals could do that he didn't know before. But I was really pleased to get hold of that. So that was the crowning glory. Other stuff I did get, I bought a Rucker Talk 12-inch singles that are all in minty mint condition. I got loads of them, there's about 8 of them. And then I bought other bits and pieces, but nothing too much to write home on. What else have I got recently? Lou Reed, an album I didn't have. I've not listened to it, don't know much about it. Rock and Roll Heart. I like Lou. I've got most of his stuff. It's just there's a few little gaps. I just wait till they're never expensive, so I wait till I see one. Stephen Stills too. I really enjoyed listening to his first few solo records. So Graham Nash I'm less bothered about. David Crosby's album is brilliant. Neil Young I love, but this fella, his solo stuff stands up real well. So that's an original. A bit more Lou. Street Hassle. One I've listened to before, but I just never got around to buying it again. It didn't cost me huge amounts of money. The new Boards of Canada album, the one that came with a little flexi disc as well. It just sounds like Boards of Canada. It's really good. I love the way they just drop an album with very little sort of warning, and they're so popular in the electronic kind of sphere of music listening. It kind of sells regardless. Do I think it's as good as everyone says it is? No, I don't. I think it's good because everything they've done I think is good. It's a 7 out of 10 at the moment. I'm still warming to it. I've got the dinked version of the Heads, psychedelic sort of garage rock band from the 90s mainly, and they surprised everyone by coming out of an album. The least busy band other than my own in the world. The album's called Your Pretty Place is Going to Hell, Volume 1, and then Volume 2's there as well, because we're going to do 2 albums and then it's doing just a double. Probably their best work. Probably it's really good. It's ferocious. Loads of cool jams on there. If anyone's seen the Heads before, they're psychedelic sort of garage rock jams. Indecipherable lyrics, loads of power. The rhythm section have played most recently in Loop with Robert Hampson. So if you're aware of Loop from the 80s and very early 90s, they play with them. So I recommend this. This is a really good record. So there's been loads more stuff, but I've not felt the need to really do a video. I'm kind of in and out of doing them. I just do them now and again, and people take an interest. That's all cool. So yeah, that's all from me. Relatively short and sweet, just a little bit of an update, just to get out of the sweltering heat, really, more than anything. I'll probably do. I'm pretty convinced I'm going to do a little themed one soon, so I'm going to just work something up. And I've been listening to a lot of sort of garage nugget stuff at the minute, so I'm DJing on the 25th of this month, the Salty Dog. The record shop I talked about, the Doghouse, is doing a 1 year sort of party, so I think it's 2 till 6. Our band are going to play as well. But yeah, I'm going to DJ, so I'm going to make it a bit of a garage sort of nuggets thing. So I've been playing loads of cool stuff recently, so I might share some of the things I've been listening to then. Right, but anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.